So I'm not going to be running any machines on this video. There's videos of these running on the Vacuum Cleaner Collectors forums on Facebook. One of the forums, Vacuum Cleaner Collectors group. But I'm just going to go over these, tell their stories, and just a little bit that I know about them. Starting off with the Kmart Special Hoover Elite 2 5.5 amp with headlight. This is from March of 1992. It just turned 30 years old, and it is 10 years and 1 month older than I am. This came in the house that I bought, that I'm standing in now. That looks a lot different than when I first bought it. This came in the house. This came with the house, along with a Phantom Thunder 12 amp that I sold to Intelitech Studios, a Kirby Heritage Turbo, which I still have. That needs a little bit more work, so that's waiting on buying parts. And a blue Kenmore Quick Clean Bagless that's made by PhoneMate. Yes, a phone accessory manufacturer built a vacuum cleaner. That thing also needs parts that I don't have in stock. This thing, the only reason I got this running was because it's only needed parts that I have in stock that I was either able to rob off of other machines that are in my parts pile down in the basement, or that I had in my box of parts. The brush roll on this thing was absolutely shot. The belt was still fine, surprisingly enough. So I stole the brush roll off of a bright red soft bag Encore Supreme that the motor had. It looked like it had a filter on the intake, but it didn't. It was just dust, and the motor had been so thoroughly overheated that it wasn't looking too healthy on the inside, and in the process of taking it apart, I broke every single bolt hole or screw hole off of the fan housing. So it's in the basement now. The body is in really good shape. The motor's just toast. I have a Runabout black soft bag that the rest of the vacuum needs enough work. I might just do a high transplant on the Encore Supreme. But anyway, I stole the brush roll off of the Encore Supreme to put on this one. It doesn't have the most bristles, but it beats the carpet fine, and and I'm able to use this thing on the next to low carpet setting, and it works fine. It's worn out, it's noisy, it has quite the whine to it, but I don't know if that's just the 5.5 motor or the bearings. It had a replacement brush roll in it that was totally just shot. Like, they had used it so much, the bristles were missing. They had gotten worn down so much, and they just put it all the way down to low, and then the bristles just came out. And I presume that's what happened to the original brush roll. So this thing has a lot of hours on it, but it's my daily driver for now. It's got the slide top bag. It's got a genuine Hoover Type A bag in it, brand new. Well, it was brand new when I put it in. I cleaned it up as best I can, serviced the brush roll, serviced the motor bearings, serviced the motor in general. It's got a 7-blade fan. And this thing, if you're on the forums, you might be able to look back and see just how filthy this thing was. They just used it and used it and used it, and they never like wiped it down or anything. So it was just caked in filth and grease because it was sitting near the kitchen. So that's the story on the Elite 2 5.5 from Kmart. I believe this replaced the Kirby Heritage Turbo. And then they tried to replace it with the Phantom, but didn't like it. So they put the Phantom upstairs with the Heritage Turbo. And then this eventually got replaced by the Phone Mate. But then they ran that till the filter clogged, and then they put the Phone Mate in storage, and they kept using this from what I've been able to tell from the condition of the different vacuums. Because that Kirby has very low hours on it. The Phantom has fairly low hours on it. The Phone Mate doesn't have a lot of hours on it, but this thing is just mild out. Anyways, enough yakking about this one. On to a Hoover Elite Supreme 7.2 amp 7-blade. This thing is really high pitched. I don't know if they put a different motor in it, but it is way higher pitched. I got this a while ago from a charity shop. And when I got it, it needed a belt and a bag. It sat around for many, many years. Then I finally got around to fixing it up. I put a belt that I had, Elite belt that I had on it. And I put a Hoover Type A bag that I had in it. And yeah, so it's been serviced all around. It's been cleaned up, and it doesn't look half bad. The top's all scratched. But serviced both brush roll bearings, took them out of the brush roll, lubricated them, cleaned them up, and it runs great. It does run great. So, I do have two more Elite chassis vacuums upstairs, but those need parts I don't have, so those are waiting. I have a blue soft bag Encore Supreme with headlight that has a belt on it. I think the motor is locked up from sitting. It's bound up somehow. Then I have a blue Elite, not a Supreme, but it's the higher end blue soft bag Elite with this hood design that has the air freshener on top of the bag compartment. So that needs a belt at the very least. I just do these when I have time. So yeah, Hoover Elite Supreme, and it has a hose and some of the tools. I think these are all missing a couple of tools, but I didn't pay that much. I think I paid like $5 for the Elite Supreme. The Elite 2 got for free. Then this thing cost me $20, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was like $15 at a charity shop. I got this after the Elite Supreme. This is a more recent find. I saw it. It's in really good shape. It's got some scratches, some scuffs, some broken plastic tabs from when somebody else had tried to service it and didn't do a very good job at it. So it's got some broken plastic tabs, but it's all tight together. It doesn't rattle or anything. Other than that, it's in impeccable shape. And it's been taken care of. It's got a 7.3 amp or 7.3 amp motor with a 20 blade fan. and it runs like a top. I even got the headlight to work. The Elite Supreme is the only one here with a non-working headlight. I put a working headlight bulb in it, but it still doesn't light up, so I think I have to go back in there when I have the intent to, and see what's going on with that headlight socket. But until then, it's just not going to have a headlight. So this Legacy is a very nice vacuum. One of the top-end Elite chassis machines that you could get. 7.3 amp motor is the highest amperage Elite that I have. And you know, it's got the stretch hose, which came off its holder. There. So yeah, nice looking vacuum. It runs nice. I just gotta polish it one of these days, and it'll be looking snazzy. And then my newest acquisition of them all. This is also the newest machine of them all. This is a post-TTI buyout, post-Tektronix. Hoover C1404. I bought this thing on eBay. The seller, surprised they went as low as they did. I think it was going to be like $150 shipped. And, well, I made him an offer that was going to be like $100 shipped. And they took it. They didn't even counter offer. So I gladly paid. The instant that they accepted the offer, I paid and got it shipping, so they didn't have time to second guess because it's less than MSRP, and it was a price that I was willing to pay for this thing because I have been wanting one of these for a while. In fact, I'm looking for the older orange variant with the slide top bag, because that would be neat to have another slide top bag. Not that difficult once you get it down. This and the Legacy are the only ones with handle switches. And I think this thing is one of the earlier TTI machines, so probably like 2007 to 2010, in that date range. But overall, it's a very nice machine. It's a 7.1 amp. So I have these arranged in by age. So 1992, 1996, 1999, and the late 2000s. I can't understand the serial number. So yeah, that's just my Elite fleet. There are already short videos of them running on the forums. I might eventually make a video once I get my camera going, but you know, that's someday. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.